Hi all, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we discuss all things astrology and today, all things Real Housewives of Salt Lake City to be exact. This franchise really caught my interest, and if you click this, hopefully it caught yours too. This is a series I do on my channel called Pop Culture Astrology where I take the astrological charts of characters on television shows or whatever interests me to understand deeper these individuals as well as what we can learn from their charts. If you gain any knowledge, a giggle, a laugh during this video, if you wouldn't mind just dropping a like, subscribing if I earned it, perhaps dropping a comment on who is your favorite housewife. I honestly, Real Housewives is my comfort show. Rihanna likes Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She DM'd Heather and said she was iconic or something. So if you don't watch Real Housewives, what do you know that Rihanna doesn't? Okay, just saying. It is an elite leisure show. So let's dive into the charts of each of these ladies and what we can ascertain. Important disclaimer before I dive into the charts, I only have their birthdays and birth years. I do not have any verified birth times for these individuals, so the knowledge that we can really glean is about 40%. And I've run into the issue where sometimes years are off because people want to seem younger than they are. I use famous birthdays for a lot of these, which I know does email the individual to have them confirm their birthday. So we can hope that these are the verified birthdays and birth years of these individuals, but we won't be able to gain everything from their chart. Let's start with Heather Gay, who is a standout favorite of the series. You can tell watching this that Jenn Shah thought she was going to be the most iconic one, and Heather seems to be the favorite. I mean, she got a DM from Rihanna, so that's pretty impressive if you ask me. So let's dive into her chart. So she is a Cancer Sun, a Libra Moon, Mars in Libra, Mercury in Gemini, and a Venus in Gemini. So although she's a Cancer, she has more air to her, and I think this definitely leads to her charm, her wit for sure, having a dignified Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini, so it's performing very well there, very strongly there. And Libra Moon also gives quite a bit of charm, but also Moon is our innermost desires and like what makes us feel safe and supported in the world. And with a Libra Moon, truly one-to-one relationships and having harmony is something that really, really satiates. And, you know, Cancer Sun is also after security, this feeling of safety, and a Libra Moon can equate the feeling of being with someone with the feeling of safety. So I think it's amazing that she had the strength to, you know, leave her marriage, and you can tell that that's a huge plot line of the series is her feeling a little bit lost without a partner and not sure what the path is going to be to have a partner in life, because as a Libra Moon, that's something that makes her feel very, very safe, very, very secure. There's a couple of additional notes I wanted to make on Heather's chart, and I apologize for the uneven audio, but I can't believe I didn't touch on the Libra Moon conjunction to Pluto. Now, Moon-Pluto individuals feel very deeply, and with the concentration in Libra, there seems to be this really bottomless pit of desire for partnership. And with Pluto being the planet of transformation, regeneration, it does indicate that she has quite a bit of resilience, and part of her chart is about essentially becoming the phoenix, like rebuilding herself. And with the energy in Libra, a lot of this kind of phoenix resilience-like energy is funneled around having to rebuild oneself after the loss of a relationship or after a loss of a partnership, like her letting go, you know, of her husband. And it does give quite a bit of emotional depth and feeling things very intensely. With Jupiter also in Scorpio at 0 degrees, it does indicate that she's renewed and revitalized by change. Like I always say with people who have strong Pluto or with a strong Scorpio, it's like there is a decision in your life where you can keep things the same, or there's a choice where you can radically change your life, shift into change, because individuals with Pluto and Scorpio are actually renewed through change, and they have to kind of go through the fire to get to the other side quite a bit. Also, North Node is conjoining her Sun, which indicates just by being the person that she is stepping into her Dharma, into her path, and also that her, you know, North Node goal involves her embracing her authentic self as well as being known, being more popular, putting herself out there and kind of channeling this divine awareness of the person that she is. With the Mercury and Venus and Gemini, I definitely think that helps with the spa salon environment. I always say I could not thrive in that environment because I'm not good with the small talk, and I feel like there it's all about little talks while someone's on the chair and oh, I'm checking this person in, like lots of small talk and chitter chatter. So I feel like her Gemini energy is really able to thrive there, as well as when I see someone Gemini, they need a little bit of novelty in their workday. And I definitely think, you know, different sort of procedures that people can do, it always kind of keeps her on her toes. Next, we'll talk about Mary, who is a Libra sun, an Aries moon, a Venus in Virgo, Mercury in Scorpio, and Mars in Libra conjunct Uranus. So a lot to unpack here. I immediately, from watching this before I looked at their birthdays, thought she was an Aries. There was just something about her, like just the instinctive, like, you smell like a hospital, because you do. Like, Aries is a very instinctive sort of energy. Like, if she feels something, she says it, and you can definitely see that with an Aries mark in their chart. So there's that kind of reactive energy. Like I said, I do not have the birth times for these individuals, but it's interesting to see how Chiron was either approaching, exactly conjunct, or falling away on the day of her birth. So she definitely has moon conjunct Chiron, though the orb we don't know because the moon changes degrees so quickly throughout the day. But moon is mothering, it's nurturing, its emotional state. And with Chiron, there could be a wound to her own ability to nurture herself, or there could be a wound with her maternal figure. I think there was some talk around how her mother wasn't necessarily happy about the arrangement, how she ended up marrying her step-grandfather, or that her mother wanted that role and was a little salty. Chiron moon types can have some sort of deep wound from mom or from the nurturing that they received that gives them kind of a feeling of never being able to be totally whole, totally safe, or totally supported within their world. But it also is the mark of a healer. And I mean, when we watch her in her sermons, I mean, whether you're religious or not, it really seems like she has a really powerful hold and charisma in front of the individuals. And, you know, with a Chiron individual, they typically can be very gifted at giving a lot of inspiration and healing. They're not good at giving it to themselves, but they're good at giving it to other people. Other notable parts is her Mars is, you know, we don't know the degrees exactly because Mars could have changed degrees that day, but Mars is conjoining Uranus, and Mars in a woman's chart who's attracted to men typically indicates the sort of masculine energy that they desire, that they like. And with Mars on Uranus, Uranus is unexpected, bizarre, strange, eccentric. So definitely, you know, such a strange setup for her marrying her step-grandfather. With Mars on Uranus, it could have been something that she was always kind of attracted to, off-the-wall sort of things, or it wasn't that hard for her to embrace, although there's a lot to unpack there, and I'm not necessarily qualified to go there on the psychological workings of that decision. But I will say with Mars Uranus, it can indicate someone who is attracted to off-the-wall masculine types. We also see her Venus is in its fall of Virgo squaring Saturn. So Venus, the planet of love, when squaring Saturn, there could be this energy of, you know, romance and relationships being sort of a business transaction or having a lot of seriousness. Saturn is also time, so it can indicate a partner being much older, which we definitely see with her partner. Venus in its fall also, I feel like, kind of explains her style. It's so weird. It's like, it's stylish, but it doesn't look quite right. I don't know what it is. Just something is a little bit off there. Her home was kind of weird. Like, there was all of these different things. Like, she's definitely into luxury, which I feel like definitely the Libra influence is into. But I feel like with the Venus fallen and squaring Saturn, there can be like not really gifted at aesthetically putting it together. Just being like, oh, well, this has a certain status because it's this brand or it's this name, and not really having a gift of putting it together and making it look really seamless and harmonious. Even though her sun is ruled by Venus, her Venus is in its fall. It doesn't like being in Virgo. And last note I'll make is that her Mercury is in Scorpio, which can indicate someone who, you know, with the Scorpio moon, Aries moon and a Mercury Scorpio, you know, she's just not BS in it. Like, she says what she needs to say, and that's that. Like, Mercury in Scorpio definitely wants to get to the point. Aries moon is very, very reactive. She doesn't waste any time in saying what it is that she wants to say. And without any charm or any dressings up, it's just like, here is what I need to tell you. So Meredith Marks is also an Aries moon, like Mary Cosby. She is a Sagittarius sun, like Lisa Barlow. She is a Mercury in Scorpio, like Mary Cosby. Venus in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio. Lot of Scorpio with Meredith. So for Meredith, she's got a lot of Scorpio. So privacy is a huge, huge theme for her, something that she holds very, very sacred. And it could have been, you know, like, this is just my thought, but it almost seemed like her storyline her, I mean, it's in the works right now, but like with her separating her husband, it almost, maybe she doesn't really like her personal intimate details being out there, so it's easier to just come up with something rather than being truthful and honest about something that's happening within her life. With, you know, Scorpio individuals, they keep a lot under wraps, and she's got a lot of Scorpionic energy concentrated there. And I mean, I don't want to conjecture or anything like that, but that much Scorpio, there's so much passion there, and there's such a desire for intimacy. And throughout the show, there's been multiple comments from her husband, like, oh, we never have sex, da da da. And I'm not saying that Scorpios are inherently, you know, hypersexual or anything like that nature, but they do crave deep, intimate bonds. They're not really like surface level kind of individuals. So it is kind of interesting that she was okay with that sort of relationship with her partner rather than craving that deep sort of intimacy that Scorpio energy typically craves, and oftentimes sexual drive as well, but not always. She has her North Node in Capricorn conjunct Jupiter. This is definitely, you know, with North Node in Capricorn, it is part of her dharma, her purpose here, to set up a business, to be part of commerce, and with it right on Jupiter, you know, it'll continue to expand for her for sure. And I would say, so Sagittarius Sun, you typically think of out there, everywhere, but her Sagittarius Sun is opposing Saturn in Gemini. Saturn and Sun, hard aspect individuals, tend to be a little bit reserved. They tend to be very hardworking. They tend to be a little bit more low key. Like our Sun is our ego, our identity, how we shine. And when it's kind of like squashed by Saturn, it's not free to burn as brightly. They're a little bit more concerned about other people. They're a little bit more dignified because Saturn is about rules and restriction and also age and also high quality. So I think that definitely shows through in her aura. Aries Moon is interesting. She doesn't seem like a particularly reactive individual. I guess this would make sense when we look at, you know, Scorpio, because typically they crave so much intimacy, but then someone with the Aries Moon will be okay in their own world being very independent, and her Aries Moon is opposing, if this birthday is to be believed, is opposing Uranus. So having her own inner world is very important and a high degree of freedom. So that kind of explains the Scorpio part of it, but privacy is huge. She's also an Aries Moon with Chiron conjoining. So there could be a wound in regards to her own mothering. And I will say for both of their cases, with the Aries Moon, the message that was embedded from childhood is you need to be able to take care of yourself. You need to rely on yourself. You need to be self-sufficient and not count on anyone. So Aries Moon, particularly women, can get into this habit of not wanting to fully rely on their partner or on their husband because they want to prove to themselves, I'm self-sufficient, I can do what I want. And it does give the chart holder quite a bit of independence, wanting control over their lives. And with Meredith's chart, the opposition to Uranus, she needs freedom to do what she wants to do. She wants to feel free within her life. And it's probably why she's actually very creative with it. But with all of that Scorpio, privacy is a huge part of it. And it's probably why she doesn't reveal too much, both to the camera as well as in her personal kind of dialogues. And with Moon, you know, opposing Uranus, having freedom within her own emotional world and not having other people control her emotional responses is really important to her. So Whitney Rose with the rose tattoo and the Libra tattoo, I saw her Libra tattoo and that's what made me want to do this video, is obviously in Libra, Mercury in Libra. You know, when you have a Venus ruled Mercury, Venus planet of beauty, you always have kind of like a sing-songy or melodic voice. So that definitely is the case for her. She's a Venus Scorpio and a Mars in Capricorn. Like I said, with Mary having, you know, her Mars conjunct Uranus, for Whitney having Mars in Capricorn, you know, Mars sort of masculine individuals that we tend to be attracted to. And with Mars in Capricorn, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn, planet of time. She was literally dating her boss. Capricorn is the boss archetype. So definitely being attracted to people who are in positions of power, people who are older, wiser in some way, with Mars and Capricorn as far as masculine energy. And masculine energy can be in a woman or in a man. That's what Whitney found attractive. With Venus Scorpio, it's not in its happiest position. Venus doesn't love being in Scorpio, but her Venus is being hit by a lovely trine from Jupiter in Pisces, so it's a little bit more expansive. And with Venus in Scorpio, there is an intense desire, like I said, for intimacy, for true craving, for a true depth with a partner. It does seem like her and her husband, although they got off to kind of a strange start or unconventional start, it does seem like they have a really deep bond, and that's something that's really important to her.
And can I just say, Libras are so beautiful. And I feel like Whitney really channels that Libra charm and charisma, just the way that she compliments people, the way that she talks while smiling. Like, she definitely exudes that Venusian vibe of her sun.
Based on the day that she was born, she was either a Gemini moon or a Cancer moon. I almost want to say she's a Cancer moon, just because her face is kind of lunar. Like, they say the energy of the moon is very kind of receptive, and it tends to be very feminine, like very round eyes, very like kind of full lips. And I just feel like she has that sort of energy, and it does seem like she has this kind of like nurturing sort of vibe. So that's my thought, but again, we do not know. She also has Chiron and moon. It's fascinating how many moon Chiron people we have. We don't know the degrees exactly. Now, Miss Jenn Shah is also a Libra, with it conjoining Pluto, though by a further separation, Mercury and Scorpio, Venus and Scorpio, all of these private individuals in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Capricorn moon, that's what you need to feel safe and secure. And Mars and Taurus, which is retrograde. So the Capricorn moon is interesting because, like I said earlier, moon is what you have to give yourself in order to feel safe and secure. And a Capricorn moon needs a certain amount of accolades, accomplishments, and status in order to feel secure. And I feel like everything that she does needs to be larger than life. And sometimes looking at the parties that she throws and the outfits she throws, I'm like, does this really make you happy? Like, it doesn't really seem like she's super joyful doing it. It's all about what everyone else thinks. Like when she threw that party for Meredith, like it was kind of like all about her, because it's almost like looking for that validation of like, you are a success, you are, you know, thriving, you are all of the things, in order to feel that sense of nurturing, that feeling of being okay. When you have a moon that's not dignified, so Scorpio moon or Capricorn moon, there can be a challenge in knowing how to satiate or to feed oneself in a way that is very sustainable or healthy. With a Capricorn moon, there could be a tendency to want to achieve out of one's feelings, or to make everything look really good and really impressive in order to feel worthy of anything. Mars and Taurus also explains her love for the finer things of life. And Mars and Taurus, you know, they're not the types to work themselves into the ground like Mars and Virgo and Mars and Capricorn. They are slow, they are languid, they want to look good while they do it, they will not burn themselves out. They are tough workers when they want something, but it is more like kind of languid energy, working smarter and not hard. And I would say, though it's a loose conjunction, the Sun conjunct Pluto, it definitely explains why she's a rather intense person. You know, Sun Pluto people, if you think about it, it's the two furthest celestial bodies that you can get from one another in astrology. And when they're together, this is someone who needs to evolve in their lifetime, like go through multiple kind of rebirths and reinvent themselves. And it's also someone who could be very powerful when it's not kind of drawn into focus. It could be someone who's very destructive, who looks to tear down other people because they don't know how to wield their own power. But its highest vibration is someone who is very transformative, very powerful, and has a very magnetic presence about themselves. Now, Lisa, when you look at her chart, it's just like, of course, this is your chart. It's all Sagittarius and Capricorn. Of course. I mean, she is someone who seems so about her business and about her money. And with Sagittarius, it's this constant desire to grow and to expand. With Capricorn, it's like money, honey. So she's got her Sagittarius sun, moon in Capricorn, Mercury in Sagittarius, Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Sagittarius, Jupiter in Pisces. So she and Whitney will both be having their Jupiter return starting in 2021 and also going to 2022. So an extra lucky year for the two of them. So we'll see what occurs during that. But also interesting that she has an alcohol business, just because Pisces governs alcohol, drugs of any sort. So, and Jupiter's kind of where we're lucky. So that was a good industry for her to dive into. And it definitely explains her no-nonsense approach. I mean, Sagittarius is the truth seeker and the truth teller. Like, Sagittarius cannot fake the funk. They will tell you what is on their mind. And I feel like that's definitely Lisa Barlow's MO. And she has a Capricorn moon. What is important to her, like I said, with Jenn, is to feel successful and to feel accomplished, and to let everyone know how accomplished and successful, because that's what feels emotionally good to these natives. There's nothing wrong with it, but they can try to validate themselves out of their emotions or out of feeling in general, or equate true happiness with this amount of zeros in the bank account, with this amount of furniture in the chalet, with for Jenn's case, it's this looking outward for nurturing inward, but it does make individuals typically very, very ambitious and hardworking, which we definitely see in her case. She's got Sun conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius. These individuals tend to be very, very creative, very, very good with their words, but better at talking than listening typically. She also has her moon conjoining Venus in Capricorn, which kind of lessens the detrimental effects of this, because Venus is a very kind of soft, feminine sort of energy. With the 2 in Capricorn, having beauty around her is also super important. Lovely things around her. That's what could feel emotionally supportive. So I would love to know who's been your favorite. I have been loving this series. It's my calm time, and it's so interesting looking up their charts and noticing. I mean, it's interesting to see the themes, like a lot of Libras, a lot of Sagittarians, a lot of Scorpio placements, which is interesting because Scorpio governs, you know, intimacy, power, as well as secrecy. And this franchise, you know, their religion is a big portion of it, because Mormon culture is so huge in Salt Lake City. And I feel like Scorpio definitely, though it doesn't rule religion, it definitely has to do with kind of repressing things, keeping secrets, not telling certain things. So it's interesting that it shows up in so many of these housewives. Then if we look at the chart itself of the franchise, it debuted on November 11, 2020 at 10 p.m. ET. It's got a Scorpio sun, the franchise itself, a Mercury in Scorpio. So definitely giving like a light and a voice to some, you know, darker themes. Like, is married to her step grandfather. There was like, you know, affairs, there's talks of religion. Like, it's very kind of deeper, a little bit more psychological than other franchises, with definitely the Mercury and Scorpio kind of captures the glitz and the glam with the Libra moon and the Libra Venus. Mars is in Aries. This is very combative right away, very reactive. I mean, we started the series and there was already kind of leftover festering drama, you know, like Lisa not remembering Heather, so on and so forth. Friends, what questions do you have about this series or anything else you would love to see? I love to do these. It's really fun for me. If you learned anything new, if you could just comment below. Friends, thank you so much for watching. What did you think? What do you think of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? It's so fascinating to learn a little bit more about them through their charts. I would love to hear your thoughts on the series so far. If you can give a comment, drop a like if you learned anything new. My Instagram handle is @Comet Astrology. I post a Monday morning weekly IGTV called Magic Monday, where I take you through the transits of the week ahead and how you can use them to live your best life and thrive. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.